Alright folks, this is a range vlog, but it's also going to be kind of a review. I'm going to be reviewing factory logo here, NSA 17.5 grain slug today. If you've been following the channel for more than a minute, you know that I like to use small amounts of air because I shoot high amounts of shots. I want to be able to get a really good shot count, but I also like to shoot fast. Typically that means that I shoot lighter projectiles. I have had the Varmint Knocker 22 slugs, seem to work pretty good, and I shot them on a like 108 bar tune. I say tune very loosely. And I shot the 25 grain knockout slugs, and those shot quite well. I was shooting those at 125 bar. I just don't want to use that much air. I'm going to say a 75 shot count for my bottle. I know the heavier ones fly better, they got a better BC, I understand all those things, I'm not a fucking idiot, but I know what I want, and I'm willing to test for what I want, and so that's kind of what this channel's about. So, today, I have the NSA 17.5s, and these are the 2175 diameters. I did weigh them, I did measure them. I'm covered in flies. They seem to be pretty close. I would say that my only little complaint with them, don't know if this affects the way they fly or not, but the hollow point in a lot of them does have some booger in there. I imagine that that can affect the weight a little bit. My scale isn't good enough to really weigh them all perfectly. It's more of a general idea of how close they are. They seem well made. They're nice. They're a dish base, and they're very short. But I want to be able to shoot them from my pellet tune. I have my baseline pellet, as you know, is the Crosman Premier 14.3. My max power for the 14.3 right now is 1,070 feet per second. We're going to kind of walk this in, and that's why this is going to be a little bit longer video. Not that most of mine aren't. When I first shot them at my house, I was not impressed. They weren't shooting bad. They weren't shooting like those Gammo things that I bought from Walmart that were expensive. But they weren't shooting great, not outperforming Premiers. I really haven't found much that does outperform Premiers. I like them because they just shoot that like nice little consistent shotgun pattern most of the time. They maybe don't group the tightest, they don't have that, you know, little pinky nail group all the time with the flyer, but the Premiers have this like nice, real consistent. And for what I want to do, like more like of a speed steel, I just like predictable. Everything in my life, I like things to be predictable because when they're predictable, you can push them to the limits and you'll know their limits. I'm into motorcycle racing and stuff too. I like predictable tires. I don't like tires that hold and then slip. I like tires that slip with a very consistent, you know, predictable way. So that's where I've always been with things, and I'm not a predictable kind of guy by any stretch of the imagination. But I like things that are predictable in nature as far as using them so that you can push them to the limits. That's why I do like the Premiers. I can shoot them at 1,070, and I can shoot them at 970, and I can shoot them at 850, and they're all going to shoot pretty good. If I get some other pellet X, and it shoots good at 850, and it shoots crap at 1,000, and it can't hit the broadside of a barn at 1,070, and then it shoots good at 700, and then it flies at 600. That's not for me. I like stuff that's just consistently good. I like a consistently good pizza. It doesn't have to be the best, but I want it consistently good. That's where I'm looking for all the time. So if you watch this channel a lot, you can keep that in mind. And if you're new to the channel, well, then sorry, you're not going to understand a lot of the things I say. You can go back and watch some of the old videos, or you can just ask questions in the comments. I'm pretty good about answering that stuff. I shot these at my house. They didn't shoot well at 1050, which is where I started them. I just started lowering it down from there and there and there. And I went all the way down to about 725 with them. I wasn't really finding a sweet spot. I did find a couple of like little baseline spots. I felt like they shot, and this is in my 1 in 24 twist barrel, 700 millimeter. They seemed to shoot pretty good at about 800, all the way to about 900, and right around 890 was kind of where I had like the most consistency at my house. So when I came up here today, I was planning on shooting 890 and seeing where they're at, but I also wanted to test around. I started testing at 60 yards, and I found like a better sweet spot at 960 to 990. So you're like, oh, well, great, Mr. Obvious, you figured it out. It wasn't that apparent at first in my house. Like I said, I tried them, I think from, I don't know, 725 feet per second all the way up to like 1050. And I was hoping they would shoot faster. but I found today that they really do shoot well in that like 960 to 990 range. I just retuned the gun, so I don't even know where it's going to go, but I'm going to look for that 990 again. So somewhere between 980 and 990 is where I was seeing the best groups printed. I did shoot some of my house at 1,000 and they weren't in there, and I think I even had them like at 1,010 when I got here, and they weren't sticking well. So if you get these 17.5ers, maybe just try them just shy of 1,000 and play around in there. And like I said, they were doing good all the way down to about 960. Take it to 60 yards first, and I'm gonna have to walk this in on my turrets because I don't know. I don't have any data on these things. I'd only really shot them at 50 yards, and I've never shot them past 60. I shot 60 when I got here, but we're gonna take it to 60, and we're gonna see how well they do in the wind. And you can compare them to my last video of Crossman premieres in the wind. It's the same exact day. It's only like 20 minutes later. So we're going to see if these slugs can dramatically improve my performance over the Crossman premieres in the same kind of conditions. At 990, they're probably producing a very similar energy to the premieres when I'm shooting those at 1070. And when I got here today and I found that 990 spot, they were looking pretty good. They were looking like 3/4 inch groupers. So that's pretty good in the conditions I am with the rock walls. And if you don't know my setup, watch some of my other videos. I'm just sitting here on a damn rock wall with fire ants and bugs and crap all over me in the wind. So let's start shooting. My premiere tune for 1070, all I had to do was back the valve out about 1.5 turns, so I'm at like 6 lines on the valve now. In the gun without even looking at it, I just tuned it kind of by feel and harmonics and stuff. So we apparently are at 88 bar now. 988. So we're pretty close to that 990 I was looking for. Okay, so now that I have one centered, I am going to hold on that. So they were shooting better than that earlier. I was feeling pretty confident about them then, but my premiere groups are twice as small as that. I'm not trying to hate on these yet. I just don't think I know where to shoot them yet, because earlier I was getting 5-shot groups and stuff much smaller, even tighter than like those 4 right there. And then I would have like a little flyer. These do tend to have flyers in them, and I don't know why. Maybe there's a diameter difference. Maybe it's the booger that's in the nose and it's making them heavier or lighter. That's a 3-inch at 60. So, I mean, that's not great. I'm gonna actually repaint, and I'm gonna reload mags, and then we're gonna come back. And we're back. Okay, I can live with that, I think. One more, let's bring it up. 2. I'm just gonna aim center plate. Wow. I really thought I was going to be able to display something for you guys here, but those things are not shooting at all, and we have less wind right now like they were earlier. This is only an hour difference in time, and they went from nice groups like that one in the corner to whatever kind of dog crap you're looking at right there. It's probably going to shoot low. 968. All right. I had good luck at right at where it's shooting right now, because I remember thinking that's exactly where the same speed my premieres like to be at. All right. Be nice if the chronograph told us. We're going to say that that's looking quite a bit better so far, guys. Okay. Let's move down towards the bottom. 955. Okay, so I rescind everything that I told you earlier from the 990. It's shooting a little bit better, closer to that like 960 mark. All right, so what have we learned so far? We've learned so far that they seem to be good right around that 960, 970 range. I did find a sweet spot at 990 earlier, 980 to 990, so keep that in mind. They're doing okay. They're not doing better than premieres. I don't know that this is a fair comparison, because I have a lot more experience with the premieres, and I haven't played with these a whole lot, but I'm going on 40 bucks for the slugs into this test, and I still haven't gotten them shooting better than premieres, and that's 2,500 premieres at the same price. That's a little bit where I'm at with testing stuff. I just can't find anything that shoots that much better than premieres for the money. But I think NSA makes a quality product. This probably isn't the perfect product for me, and Nick Neilsen recommended my goals that I try his 20.2s, I think they are. FX Fanboy, I think his handle is, he also said that he likes to shoot 20 grains in the 177, and you still get a good shot count with those. The 177 is probably going to have a better BC because it's going to be longer, but Nick said to try the 20s, and I did shoot the 22 grain varmint knockers, and they didn't shoot too bad, and I didn't have to have that much power to shoot them either. I'm still at 88 bar. That's a pretty low reg pressure. Imagine 90 to 95 is where we'll have to be for those 20s. They're shooting okay. I'm not completely unhappy with them, and it's kind of fun to test stuff. We'll see. I've been waiting more than 2 weeks for my batch of 6,000 FX pellets. So that will be the ultimate test to see if we can beat the premieres, because I'll have 6,000 of those to test with. And I got the 16 grain. I didn't get the 18. I know these guns are designed to shoot the 18 right out of the box. The 18s are 20 bucks a tin, and I don't really want to spend $40 to $50 a weekend. I'm not trying to be a cheapskate. I've already shot like $400 in pellets in the last month. So for those of you that think I'm a cheapskate, go get bent. $400 a month in pellets is not cheap. That's an expensive hobby. That was mostly even Crossman premieres. Let's get real here. That's why I'm doing what I do, and that's what this channel's about. And if you don't like it, go watch another channel. I don't care. I think these are performing okay at the moment, and we're going to shoot a little bit more. 75 yards. NSA 17.5 at roughly 960 feet per second. And would you look at that, folks? 955. 951. All right, so we're doing okay in there. And now, let's not waste any time. Let's take them out to the 100 plus. We're gonna call those 2-inch dots. That one's about 1, so you can see those. And I do not have a dope for this distance. All right. Oh, it was in there somewhere, right next to the bullseye, I think.
957.
So now we're over 100 yards, guys.
954.
We're right in there. Let's give her, just because, give her 2 clicks left.
954.
You can't see that. They're getting right in there. They're shooting as good as they were at the 60.
958.
My one went in the weeds. That was a flyer. Yeah, nice little group in the corner.
957.
Let's come down. We're at about 42.
958.
Let's go to the pan. I'm gonna bring it down just a couple. We are still off. I'm gonna hold a half. Little high.
956.
Damn it, and we're out. They aren't shooting that much worse at 100 than they were at the 60. We're still here at the 100, and you can see down there the wind has died off. If you watch the Crossman premiere video, you can see it is not nearly, not even a 16th will make up a statistic as windy as when I was shooting the premieres, and they were performing pretty decent. You can actually still see the premiere group in that nasty wind above, and you can see the slightly fatter slugs in the markings there. Let's see if we can get some in there on the pan real quick.
900.
Oh, look at that. 945 on the first shot.
947.
That's looking good, guys. Too bad we don't have a chronograph. You see the little row we're getting right there.
954.
Not too shabby. Look at that. Let's go for a can. Feeling confident. Nope. Got it. Got it.
958.
Go for these cans. I think that's the one I just finished using. Let's go right about there. Ooh, still too far left. Oh, there we go. Hey, look at that. That was fun, huh?
955.
All right, so we're at that 950, 960 range.
900.
Right next to it. Okay, these are shooting pretty good, guys. pretty good. We're going to wrap up the video. NSA 17.5. These are 2.175 diameter slugs. The other slugs that I shot were 2.18s. I thought I'd try this little bit smaller one. Can't remember if they made a 2.18 or not. I think they do. You can get them in lots of different sizes. Not everybody carries them, so you have to get them from Neilsen direct, or Neilsen will drop ship for Pyramid Air, if I remember right. They're shooting okay at long range. That keeps them interesting to me. Maybe I could try the 2.18s, but I probably will also try Nick Neilsen's suggestion of the 20 grainers. This is the stock 1 in 24 liner in this, and that 960, 970 range seems to be where they like to be shot. I can handle that. I would like them going faster, but it is what it is. Am I going to switch to slugs? I don't know. I've thought about it when I get to the competition level, if it's allowed at whatever event I'm shooting, because if you can find a sweet spot where they're shooting consistently, they are going to buck the wind a lot better. But if they're not predictable, like we saw at the very beginning of the video, maybe coming off the barrel, shooting the premieres, it had to blow whatever premiere shit was in the barrel out. I will say, in my house, what made a big difference in the group is when I cleaned the barrel. And I don't clean barrels. I just was so desperate to make those things shrink that like 2-inch group that I cleaned my barrel for the very first time. It always shoots pretty good, and it always shoots the same, so I wouldn't need to clean it, but I cleaned it, and immediately after that, the groups did shrink a lot. So maybe this lead, I don't know, drags through the barrel or something and leaves deposits in there, and it needs to be cleaned more often. I do not know. Maybe you know. If you shot lots of NSA slugs, you can leave it down in the comments. I'm not unhappy with these, so if you want to try out some slugs, give NSA a try. They've actually shot really well in my 30 caliber as well. I was going through some woes with that gun with arcs and stuff breaking. Really good luck with the 49.5s. They shot better than some of the other stuff, and then I don't know, I'd hit a different speed, and then the H&Ns would be shooting better, and then the knockouts 54s would be shooting better. I shot 64 Patriots and 52 Patriots, and it was like every other day one of them would shoot better than the other. So I don't really know. That's the big mystery behind slugs, and I think that's pretty common in the industry, as far as like people saying you've really got to just like dial into a slug and don't just give up. So I'm not giving up quite yet, but spending all the money on this ammo that's not out shooting premieres, I'm getting a little bit over it, because I just want to start shooting and I want to start training for reels, and I just need to settle in on something. So anyway, thanks for watching this other long-winded range vlog. There'll probably be a couple more coming.